You're listening to the Superpower Podcast, Superpower Kids Edition, where author, philanthropist, and Superpower Kids founder Neva Lee Recla inspires kids to discover their superpowers and change the world.
Hi everyone, this is your Superpower Kid, Neva Lee Recla, and today I'm so extremely excited for today's interview. We are talking about be confident in yourself, and I think that's such an amazing topic because I admit it, sometimes it's hard to be confident in yourself. Even I go through that phase. And that's the most important thing in life and in business, because in business, if you're going to change people's lives, you have to be confident in yourself to do so. And our guest today, his name is Rodney Flowers, and we met at CEO Space. He went through a serious injury at a high school football game, and Rodney was paralyzed. And after 18 years, he learned to walk again. Now he's an amazing public speaker. He's an Amazon best-selling author, and he's just such an amazing entrepreneur. And today, I'm so excited to have him on. So, Rodney, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you, Neva, for that wonderful introduction. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So, what are your superpowers?
Wow. Well, I think one of my superpowers is inspiring people to do what they may consider is impossible, right? I consider myself as an example of what's possible when you have confidence in yourself and you believe in yourself and your abilities and you find your superpowers, right? Be able to utilize what your superpowers is. I think there's a lot of power in whatever you have determined is your superpower. And once we can tap into that, we can find that we can change lives. We can do amazing things, incredible things. And so I think helping people discover their superpowers, be inspired to change the world and change their life, that's one of my superpowers.
That's an amazing superpower to have, because a lot of people are too afraid to take that step to help other people. Mm-hmm. And what they don't realize is that's actually going to help you as well, because you know that you can do it now. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm following your lead, babe.
Thank you. So what inspired you to do business?
Well, I wanted to help people. So once I discovered what my superpower was and my ability to inspire people, I wanted to do that more. I wanted to really showcase to the world what's possible when you believe in yourself, when you have something, a gift to give to the world. And so I wanted to touch as many people as I could, expand as much as I could, and just really give of myself as much as I could. So that caused me to want to go in business and write books and speak and share my story, share my superpower, so that I could inspire others. I realized, Neva, that, whether you're young or old, we all have something to contribute to the world. And sometimes things get in the way of that, right? And it seems difficult. It seems hard. It's very challenging. And as you know, as you stated in the introduction, I have had a traumatic injury happen to me, and most people would quit whenever something like that happens. And I wanted to keep going and find out what I was made of and how I could serve and contribute to the world despite my injury. And so, people were inspired by that, and it caused them to want to keep going in the face of their trauma, in the face of their challenges. And that was very rewarding for me. And so I just kept going and going and going. And I get so much out of that. I mean, that's what wakes me up, gets me out of bed in the morning, so that I could, because you never know who that person is or who that kid is who has a tough time or a tough situation. And there's something that you could say or something that you could do to cause this kid or cause this individual to keep going. One more day. I'm a workout enthusiast. And so sometimes that extra rep, that one, pushing it one more time or one more day, giving it one last effort, that could make all the difference in the world. And so I wanted to be that guy to push you over the top. So that's what keeps me going.
That's awesome. And it's really cool because, like I said earlier, some people, and like you said, some people would back out of that and they wouldn't want to take that leap of faith because they think it's scary, but then they don't realize what's on the other side of that tunnel.
Absolutely.
And that you can do so many amazing things. So that's really cool.
I mean, look at you. I mean, you're inspiring me, right? Because we can clearly see what you're doing. You have your own podcast, you're an entrepreneur, you have several business, several books. And to me, that's just amazing. And, you know, you're young. You have all the reason in the world to say, oh, I'm not going to go do that. Or, you know, that's no fun. I have other things. I have, you know, toys to play with, kids to play with, other things to do other than that. But you're finding that you're getting so much reward and you're making a decision to go and be this entrepreneur, you know, despite all of that. And I just think that's just wonderful, you know, and I can imagine the difference that you're making in the lives of other people, right? And so I think we need more people like you in the world. I think, you know, we need to start our kids off being entrepreneurs at a young age, just like yourself. And I think we'll see drastic changes for the better in our world if we did that. And so kudos to you, high five to you, because I think that's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what focus did you have to learn to walk again?
Focus. Well, one of my focuses was to keep going. Never quit, never give up, despite, you know, what the doctor said and what, you know, everyone else was saying, right? The statistics, you know, it was my recovery is rare. You know, it's not something that happens all the time with this type of injury. And so if you can imagine, most people didn't expect me to recover. So I didn't listen to that. I only just focused on, honestly, my vision and what I wanted. And I believed in myself and what I could do, despite all the other stuff, whatever, all those other expectations. And that is what I focused on. I focused on that. I kept my faith in myself. And then I knew that if I worked hard, if I stayed at it and continued to work, something good would come out of it. I didn't know what that was. I knew what I wanted and I knew what I was striving for, but I knew in the event, if I didn't get the ultimate goal, I would get something better than what I had. And so I just focused on the good. I focused on everything positive that was, you know, in this situation that I could pull from this situation. I focused on, you know, how I can inspire other people if I keep going and if I stay positive. You know, I focused on what good could come out of this later on down the road if I kept going, and that's what kept me going. So that's what I chose to focus on.
That's cool. And I know some people would focus on the bad in the situation, like, oh, I can't do it. And so they would give up way too easily. And versus just having that mindset of, I know what's going to come after this.
Right. And then, you know, Neva, honestly, I'm sure you know this, whenever you decide to give up, you can't really expect anything good to happen, right? And I know it may be tough to keep going, but at the very least, if you keep going, there's a level of expectation you can have that something positive will come out of it because you're continuing to keep going, right? But if you stop, you can't expect anything.
Exactly. So we actually have to take a quick break, but I would love to keep talking with you more. Can you tell our listeners where they can go to find out more about you?
Very easy. You can go to my website at www.rodneyflowers.com. That's RODNEYFLOWERS.com. RodneyFlowers.com. You can also email me. I'm very easy to contact. It's just Rodney@RodneyFlowers.com. I'm all over social media. Rodney Flowers on Facebook. My handle on Instagram is Game Changer Mentality. And that's how you can find me.
Awesome. Well, definitely go check out his website because he is such an amazing person. So we've been talking with Rodney Flowers about Be Confident in Yourself. We'll be right back.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
Okay, we're back and we've been talking with Rodney Flowers about be confident in yourself. So we actually get to do funny FaceTime. So we get to make our funniest faces in 3 seconds. Are you ready?
Yes. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
3, 2, 1. That was a good funny face. So right before the break, we were talking about like having that changed mentality, and I just quoted your podcast. But talking about just keep on going. And so what were you like as a kid? Did you always have that mindset?
Well, I was a football player, so I did have a lot of competitiveness, and I had a lot of aggression on the football field that was directed towards winning and competing at a high level. And so I would say yes, I did. And I had a lot of confidence in myself and my ability to play the game. So I used that to win. I used it to score. I used it to compete at a high level. And then after I got hurt, I used that same aggression, that same competitive nature with myself, not against anyone else, but I would competing with me to get better, to be the best that I could be, not better than someone else. And that led to a high level of confidence on and off the field. And I really believe that has helped me as an entrepreneur, as well as an author and a speaker. And I enjoy transferring those skills to other people like yourself and organizations, businesses, kids, schools, because I think that is a healthy dose of or a healthy tool that you could use to build your confidence and accomplish more.
That's really cool. I'm actually a swimmer, and so when I go to meets or even during practice, I focus on swimming my race, not beating someone else. Just how can I improve myself, like you were saying, because that's the best thing you can do.
Well, it's so important, right? Because if you think about it, if you try to compete with someone else, and even if you win, you're just better than that person, right? And that's a limit, because you could be way beyond better than that person, but the measure that you're competing against is against that person. But when you measure yourself and you're competing against yourself, and so even if you beat your time or you beat a certain place where you are right now, well, then there's another level to that, right? And so when you keep competing with yourself, you keep growing and growing and developing, then you have no limits. But when you compete with someone else, you're limited by how good they are. So how good do you want to be? How, what is the best, how are you measuring yourself? And so I believe that there's no greater competition than yourself. And then, as we all know, there's no point in competing with someone else. That's not really healthy way of being, is competing with someone else. Yeah.
That's kind of what CEO Space talks about be cooperative, and you'll be able to learn so much more versus if your mindset is, how do I beat that person versus how can I help myself improve, and like, I guess not even competing against yourself, just how can I improve myself?
Right.
And that's the best thing you could do.
Yeah. And so when I say compete against myself, I mean it as though I always want to get better. Right. And so let's just say I had a performance, let's just say, to keep it simple, yesterday. Right. And it was a good performance. And so immediately, right? And so how can we improve upon that? We talk about confidence. Well, confidence is something that you build on every single day. You don't never get to a place where you can be satisfied with a certain level of confidence. You can have good confidence, but you always want to push yourself, right? We can always be better. Even if we're better than we were yesterday, today, tomorrow, we want to be better than we are today, right? And so when I compete against who I am. How good of a person was I yesterday? How good of a person am I am today? And what can I do to make myself better? And as I continue to do that, my confidence in myself continues to grow, as I follow that process.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Helping others by far, right? There's the money aspect that comes with it, and that can only go so much. But when you have a business that actually betters and brings value to someone else, I feel that's how you fulfill your purpose in the world. That's your contribution to your existence, right? We are here for a reason. And so when you can bring value to someone else, I think that really, puts the exclamation mark on your existence here. The money is just the exchange for the value. That's all that is. But it's the value. That's what makes the difference.
Yeah, I agree. And I can definitely agree on that because I love helping people. And like you said, that's what fuels you in business. And it's being able to be cooperative with that person that you're helping. And because I know some people may go at it like, how do I make it better for myself versus how can I help this person? And that will help you as well.
Yeah, we become better by helping others, right? Imagine if everyone had that mindset, right? Exactly. You want to get better, then you try to go help someone else. And, the more you try to help people, the better you just get at helping people and the better you become. And so I think sometimes we have it backwards. We try to help ourselves and think about ourselves and not help others, but then that's to our detriment. We find ourselves not so much getting better, but becoming worse of a person, right? Because we're so selfish. Yeah,
exactly. And that's when the selflessness comes into business because some people are in a state of their lives where being selfless is such a gift for them. But then some people, that idea is really scary because maybe they haven't learned how to be selfless. And so the idea of stepping up to it is frightening.
Well, and that's where confidence comes in, right? And so we take it one step at a time. You don't have to go try to save the whole world in the beginning, right? Yeah. But we can find one person that may, need our help. And you don't have to have a business to start this, right? Helping someone could be, helping someone across the street or helping someone with something in their garden. There's all kinds of ways that we can help people. It's just finding the way that feels best for you. It feels good for you. And you get the most reward and starting where you are and just building upon it.
Exactly. Because, like you said, it doesn't have to be a business. And you don't have to go out and save the entire world at the beginning. But you can take steps toward that. You may get to the point where helping everyone sounds like a good idea. Or some people in their business just want to help specific people. And that's cool too.
Well, you talked about superpowers in the beginning, right? And so we all have superpowers. So, for your audience that's listening, one of the ways to gauge how to get started is to ask themselves, what is my superpower, right? What am I good at? What benefit do I bring to the world that could help other people, right? And then when you say, okay, maybe it's, I don't know, love, or I like helping people write books. I like help inspiring people. But then you go and find those people that need that. Maybe not everyone would need that particular thing, and that's okay, right? It's the people that do need it. Those are your people. Those are the people that you can help. Those are the people you want to connect with and find out where they hang out at so that you can help them. And so, it never really is I guess I want to say this. It never really is about saving the world. It's about saving the ones that you have the gift to save, the superpower to save, right? That's where you want to put your energy.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And your superpower doesn't have to be something like flight. It could be something like Rodney's superpower. He's great at helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things that you could choose from, and then find something and go, how can I help people with this superpower?
Mm-hmm. And when I think about this even more, you don't want everyone to have a superpower of flight because then everyone's working on the same thing, right?
Exactly.
I love the fact that we have a variety and everyone is different. And no one is more important or bigger or smaller than the other. Everything is just as important, right? And so whatever your superpower is, that's God's gift, the universe's gift, energy's gift to you. And so you want to be proud of that, and you want to be confident in that, and then you want to use it to the maximum extent possible, because even though it may not be flight, it's just as important as the airplanes that are flying around, right? Even though it may not be the light bulb, it's just as important as every light that's on right now, right? Because we everything that every contribution that a person has is needed and it's necessary.
Exactly.
And when we don't bring that thing forward, then we all suffer as a whole, right? The whole entire world suffers because the world needs that. The people in the world that need that service, they need it. And so it is our responsibility to bring that superpower forward.
Yeah. And all it takes is one person being afraid, and that digs a small hole. And then if people decide to be afraid as well, it digs it deeper. And people, if we start stepping up, that would make, rejuvenate the hole. And so it would be a clear patch of land again.
Absolutely. And think about this, maybe there's some young person listening. There's a lot of people that don't discover their superpower until they're 30, 40, sometimes 50, and even later, years old, right? And so to discover your superpower at a very young age, what that means is you can start working on it right now. You can start developing it. And so by the time you're 30, just think about how amazing you can be at your superpower. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. And so, I really wish, honestly, that they would teach kids how to discover their superpowers in school, right? Because that's something that you don't get in school. You've been fortunate enough to be around people who understand this and have encouraged you and supported you to understand what your superpower is and really offer that to the world. But so many kids don't get that opportunity. And so for those that are listening, get in contact with Neva. Really study her and talk to your parents about how to discover your superpower now at a very young age. Because, just because you're young doesn't mean you can't help someone. Just because you're young doesn't mean you can't start a business. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you can't bring about change to people in the world that need it. And you can start building your confidence in that right now. And so as you get older, that's the more and more and more people that you can help, people that you can serve, and differences that you can make, during your lifetime. I just feel that when you talk about discovering your superpower, that's something that you should want to get started on right away, as soon as possible.
Exactly. And some people may not realize this, but you have your superpowers in you, before you're even born. But some people don't realize it. And so they turn into adults, and then it takes them a couple of years to discover it. Versus if you just sit down and go, what is my superpower? How can I make a difference in people's lives? You can start planning that before you can even talk.
Yes, especially when you have the right people around you supporting that. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah. So we get to do something that I call Super Neva questions.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to ask you questions as fast as I can, You're going to answer them as fast as you can.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
What is your favorite color?
Blue.
What's your favorite animal?
Lion.
If you could have the ability of flight or of invisibility, which would you choose?
Flight or what?
Invisibility.
Now that's a good one. I don't know. Visibility.
If you could be a fairy or an elf, which would you choose?
Fairy.
Pet dragon or unicorn?
Dragon.
I'm on that side as well. They could fly you everywhere.
Yeah.
If you could live at a pool full of marshmallows, humongous marshmallows, and it's a really deep pool, or a hot tub of hot fudge for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
Give me that fudge, baby. I love the fudge. I want the fudge.
I would choose the marshmallows because then you could carve things into them, I think, depending if they melted.
I can see that.
See, I live in Arizona, and so hot fudge, hot tub, does not sound fun all year round.
Oh, gotcha. I like fudge.
What would you say to someone who's being bullied?
Well, honestly, I would say fight back. Push back. Bullies need to be taught a lesson. You never want to let people just bully you around, right? So I feel that when someone is bullying you, you have to push back a little bit just to let them know that you're not the type of person that's going to put up with being bullied, right? Yeah. And so push back.
Yeah, I agree. You're the first guest that have said that. So that's really cool. Because my parents have taught me escalation of force. So if I'm in a situation, someone's maybe being annoying and poking me or something, you can go stop it. If they don't stop, you can try to walk away. And if it gets to that point where you can't walk away, you can use more force.
I'm a football player. I don't know what kind of answer you're expecting from me, but someone's pushing me, I'm pushed back, right? Consult with your parents, kids, please. But that's just my opinion, right? You don't let people push you around.
Yep, I like that. So we sadly have to wrap up. That was an amazing answer. So thank you so much for coming on my show. Will you remind our listeners one more time where they can go to find out more about you?
www.rodneyflowers.com, RODNEYFLOWERS. You can also reach me at rodney@rodneyflowers.com. That's my email address. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Quick and easy search, Rodney Flowers, and you'll find him.
Awesome. Definitely go check him out because he is such an amazing and inspirational person. So, Rodney, will you join me in the sign-off?
Yes, I will. Of course I will.
Awesome. Remember, kids, that we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
The world.
Thank you so much, Rodney.
Thank you, Neva. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Superpower Up Podcast, Superpower Kids Edition. Go now to superpowerkids.com and discover your superpowers today.